this is slightly different. Huh, wonder why. Huh, I wonder, just what is she working on? And do I have the right to ask? Expression on Suzumi's face is kinda scary. Huh, or we can ask her if she see a drawing or what. Let's ask her about a drawing. I was wondering. Yes? What is it, little boy? Sumi smirks, arms folded, leaning forward against the counter. Instinctively, I back away, just as one would do when confronted with a venomous viper. And Sumi might be even more dangerous than that. Well, I don't want to sound rude or intrusive, but, you were going to do so anyway, simply to satisfy your own selfish curiosity. Is that right? Well, I suppose that is right, but why did she have to frame it like that? She just wants to make me feel as guilty as possible, doesn't she? And the worst thing is, it's working. I gulp. Although the interior of this store is fairly cold, the windows shut and blinds drawn, my face feels hot. I was wondering, what have you been drawing? You were picking up my work, were you? It's work? Like college work? Is she a part-time student? But wouldn't that just eat up more money? Money I don't understand how she earns, given how very few customers she seems to get. Maybe it isn't academic, maybe it's something more suspicious. But what? Yes, work. A thing that people do to make money. An occupation, you know. But I thought you worked at the store. Sumi waves one hand carelessly. That's more of a hobby than an actual job. Took over the store because it's what Grandpa would have wanted. But working retail is such a pain. There are always so many people coming in trying to interrupt me. Ask me all these questions like it's my duty to give a damn. Long-suffering sigh. It's all so boring. Life's too short to spend time talking to people. It's like people who want to know I sell any, whatever that is, period visas. If I can put their purchase in a carrier bag or whatever. But when you work at a shop, shouldn't you expect people to talk to you? I wonder if Suzumi's grandfather would really be happy if he knew his granddaughter was deliberately sabotaging the future of his beloved store like this. And I wouldn't exactly call the amount of customers this place gets so many. Anything, I term it virtually non-existent. Just what is your definition of too many people? More than Zero. Her response is so curt too. After my continued efforts, I'd been able to drive away most of my clientele away. When I'm really lucky, I'll go a whole week without anybody coming in here at all. But there's always one or two who never quite get the message. Glares at me. I whimper. Does she want me to go away that badly? Drawing is my real job, my true passion. I write manga. Huh? That's Suzumi. Mouth won't open like that of a hooked fish. She's a manga artist? Really? So that's how she's able to keep the store running, despite the complete absence of customers. I wonder what kind of manga she draws. Is it romance, action, horror, hentai? Does she publish it under a pen name? And how does she get to be a manga artist anyway? Isn't it really hard to get into that industry? I'm impressed. Certainly didn't expect that. A while there, I was convinced she kept the store running through other illegal means. I mean, the way she treats her sister... Yeah, we're not gonna go into that. You look as though you found a chicken fetus in your boiled egg. What a horrible simile. I was a little surprised, that's all. I didn't expect, I've never met anybody who draws manga before. That's kinda cool. It is cool, isn't it? I really am the best. At least my compliments seem to be having some kind of effect. Looks more cheesy than she did a few minutes ago. However, face darkens. With a frown, she taps one finger against her lower lip. Her dark nail polish applied to her long, sharp talons flashes dangerously under the dim lighting. I seem to be having writer's block lately. All out of ideas. Even manga artists can have writer's block. Of course. Although it involves more drawing than writing, I still need to create a solid story with some good characters. But Sumi glances down at the sheets of paper spread across the counter dispassionately. Besides, she sweeps it all to one side, off onto the floor, crumpling the paper as she does so. It's hopeless. Can't think of anything. I have no good ideas. Can't even think of what to call my characters or how they should look. I should probably go people watching at some point to get some inspiration. That's no good either. I hate people. I can imagine that designing characters might be kind of difficult if you don't like talking to people. Might be hard coming up with individual, unique characters if you never design or deign to associate with others. And my team quit at me too. Said something about artistic differences. Yeah, I could imagine working with you is not the greatest. Here she makes coiny marks with her fingers. Face distinctly unimpressed. And how I'm too strict that I expect too much from them. But if there's anything so wrong with expecting perfection, Sumi jabs her finger at me. A sharp fingernail stopping just a few inches away from my face. What's the point of creating something if you don't aim for perfection? If you try with anything less than 110%, you might as well not bother at all. Don't you think so? She's really getting fired up about this. Or if I say no, she might just gouge out one of my eyes. I mean, I already had Boo's eyes gouged out, but... and I wouldn't like that. If I didn't have any eyes, how would I be able to watch the season finale of that soap opera I've been watching with my mother? I never even get to find out if the two leads got together or not. And Emiko was trying so hard to. I agree. You really have to try your best, don't you? Sumi stares at me for a while with those dark purple eyes, deep and murky like pools of black tea. Possible for me to tell what she's thinking. I'm not entirely sure if I want to know either. Finally, after a long pause, she replies, "That's right. You're right. For once." Was that for once necessary? There's no point in trying if you don't give it your all, so I don't need people like that on my creative team. They can get out and go die for all I care. But I only have 4 months left. I can't come up with an idea soon. I won't have enough time to meet the deadline. I wouldn't want to let down my fans. What should I do? What should I do? A long pause. Is my cue to leave? Alright, well, it was nice talking to you. I need to find a present for my friend, so... Wait, Hold it right there, mister. Did I say that you could leave? I'm sorry. John, my body tensing. What does she want? Sumi frowned, still tapping that sharp fingernail against her lower lip. I'm transfixed by it. Can't budge an inch. You could kill a man with fingernails like that. You could slice through his chest like a knife through butter, tear apart the internal organs to ribbons. Against an enraged Suzumi, I wouldn't stand a chance. I'd have more luck fighting against a bear. Normally, I would never ask for favor from a person like you. In fact, simply contemplating it makes me feel as though I'm going to throw up in my mouth. However, desperate times calls for desperate measures. I need a few people to bounce ideas off of, or else I'll never be able to come up with a solid story. And so, out of the benevolence of my heart, I will give you an opportunity to impress me. You've got the job. Welcome to the team, you little rat. Stare at Suzumi, blinking once. Twice. Thrice. No matter how many times I blink, the scene before me doesn't shift. It remains the same, stumbling so. I pinch my arm. Ow. It hurts. Hurts because this isn't a dream. This really is, real. All I wanted to do was buy a present for Sakai, but somehow I stumbled into a job interview instead. And I had no idea until it was too late. I am sorry, but I don't know anything about publishing manga. That's fine. You read it, don't you? A little? Then you can still help. Even the complete idiot will have one or two good ideas in their lifetime, even if the strain of thinking it up destroys their tiny brain. But we must keep going for the greater good, so she doesn't care if I die. but why would she ask me for help? How will they even know me? Sumi shrugs. That's completely irrelevant. I know you're a weak-willed, spineless person who will go along with what I want and not disobey me, which is more than enough for now. I can still say no, you know. But you're not going to. How do you know that? Because you're too afraid. I don't know if you realized it, but you're trembling. Worst thing is, she is right. I'm not going to oppose her. Won't be able to. Feel my cheeks heating up. Clench my hands into fists, trying to stem the shaking, but it doesn't work. Why is she so sharp? But I wanted to buy Sakai a present. Sakai? Suzumi raises an eyebrow. Who cares about Sakai? My career is far more important than any girlfriend you might have back in the city. Sakai isn't my girlfriend. I don't care if she's the Princess of Monaco. She's not important. Delete her from your mind. From now on, you'll be working for me. I will tolerate no distractions. Yes? Yes, what? Yes, Miss... Good boy. You keep that behavior up and maybe you'll get a treat. Thank you, miss. In my head, my face flushed. I feel like a trained dog. I'm expecting Suzumi to throw me a tennis ball or wanted me to play dead. Bring in your friend waiting outside. Girl with the pink hair and the awful fashion sense. Want her on board too. You knew Amu was here all along? Of course I knew. Not blind, not stupid either. Well, alright then. I can ask her, but I don't know if she'll like the idea. You think I care what she wants? No. Probably not. Not based on how she's been treating me, anyway. I don't think Suzumi cares about anybody other than Suzumi and her little sister. Hello, Suzumi? Same to you, Amu. It has been a long time since we last spoke, hasn't it? Yes, I was hoping to keep it that way. How cold. The words wound me. Not much as they wounded my little sister, however. Can we leave Arai out of this? He isn't even here. Even if Arai isn't here in person, she's always here in spirits, inside my heart. We sisters are linked by a bond stronger than blood. A tie that can never be severed, no matter what. Riri was right. You really are a creep. Don't call my beloved little sister Riri like that. It's uncouth. It is? That's right. You're not a friend anymore, so you lost the right to act all familiar with her. Only I can call her Riri. Huh. What a desperate woman. Face you're pulling right now is kinda gross, you know. Amu. Poor short-sighted Amu. How I pity you. You pity me? Indeed. Finding the beautiful love shared between two blood-related sisters gross is enough to make my heart wither. My feelings for Rai aren't gross, touching and heartfelt, pure enough to bring us swan to tears. Truly, you must be a brute to look past such an expression of pure love. You're a tainted woman, and you should douse yourself in water and pray for forgiveness. Tainted? Me? Yes, tainted. You. You look here now. The only tainted one here I can see is you and your weird obsession for Riri. My love for my little sister is not weird. It's perfectly natural. As her big sister, it's normal that I should want to look out for her. You just can't understand that level of devotion, you harpy. Harpy? That's funny, coming from a worthless wash-up siscon like you. Hey, you guys? I stood there meekly, looking between Amu and Suzumi. Two women are glaring at each other, their eyes narrowed into slits. Mia's right hand is curled up into a fist. Suzumi is grinding her teeth so hard I worry she might sand them down. I really think they're going to run out of insults, they managed to dredge up a new round of ammunition. The fight continues just like before. I do admire their tenacity, if nothing else. But now I'm starting to get worried. What if one of them loses their temper and tries to physically attack the other? Would it be my duty to get between them? But when faced with the prospect of being rent asunder by Suzumi's claws, my whole body starts to shake. What should I do? Listen, Amu, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Suzumi surveys Amu with a disdain even more pointed than the one she showed me. The words dripping with venom more profuse than a snake's bite. I don't like you. You're mean to my little sister. That's a crime that can never be forgiven. However, I need some help. Did you know alright, Manga? Manga? May blink slowly. She looks just as taken aback as I was. I guess she doesn't know about Suzumi's lucrative side job either. Are you really right, Manga? That's right. That is proper, Manga? And you have fans? Of course. Quite a lot of them, actually. Oh, that's kind of cool. She looks impressed in spite of herself. No, wait a minute. Shakes her head hard, pink ponytail bobbing. There's no time to be impressed. This has nothing to do with me either. But it does. You see, on my own goodwill, I, under Rei Suzumi, would like to invite you to become a member of my creative team. Suzumi grins, elbows resting on the counter, the fingers pressed together in a pose all too reminiscent of a mad scientist. Isn't this exciting? It's like a plot device in one of your romance stories, isn't it? Moo winces. Looks as though her defenses are crumbling. And besides, I've already got this fine figure of a man on board too. Not a trace of irony in her voice, even though it's undoubtedly obvious she doesn't mean a single thing she says. Sumi gestures towards me. Think about it. Giving you an opportunity to spend more time with your childhood friend. A new relationship could bloom. Feelings which before have gone unnoticed could flourish overnight. Who wouldn't want that? Well, Moo's face flushes. Not like I need an excuse to spend time with Akchan. He'd want to come and see me regardless, because I'm so amazing. And anyway, no way you could write manga. That must be some kind of joke. Of course not. Never joke about business. I've been working on my newest release, but it's been difficult. The whole creative team quit on me, and I don't have anybody to help out. They said I was unapproachable and unreasonable. Can you imagine that? Oh no. I have no idea where they could have possibly got that impression from. I know, right? All I have left on my team, other than that boy over there, is Paya. She hasn't been as much she has about as much creativity as a dead jellyfish. Paya? She's good at doing the boring jobs, but her insight is no good at all. She couldn't come up with a decent story if it fell onto her head. So, as such, I need to ask a few more people. You can see my dilemma, can't you? And you don't have any other friends you can ask? I don't like people other than my adorable little sister. Try to avoid them as much as possible, so quite frankly, I don't. I don't have any friends, and I'm happy about it too. Whoa, you must lead quite a sad life. I'm almost starting to feel sorry for you, old woman. Sumi surveys Moo archly, one eyebrow raised. Life is whatever you can make of it. Why should I try to act in a manner that suits your stipulations? I'm perfectly happy the way I am, thank you, and I would appreciate it if you could stop answering back. If I wanted to give somebody else the last word, I would buy a parrot. Moo sighs, shrugging her shoulders. Looks like she's finally given in. Maybe she couldn't be bothered to keep arguing. Guess Azumi victory may be impossible. Okay, whatever. Have it your way. I will. I always do. Why does she look so smug? Anyway, I need some character designs for a new manga. I need them as soon as possible. Get to work, you two. You mean we're going to start right now? Of course. No time like the present. But we don't even know what kind of manga you write. What kind of characters do you want? Why? Isn't it obvious? Sumi smiles in a cloyingly sweet, saccharine manner, which makes my teeth hurt. I think I just got a cavity. Of course, a beautiful, charming, elegant girl like me would only write those kinds of stories. I was about to say, oh, so you're actually writing hentai, and then it comes out torture porn instead. I'm glad we're on somewhat the same wavelength here, Moo. It's torture porn, isn't it? Really, Gruz, and atomically incorrect torture porn? I can feel it in my bones. Of course not, silly Moo. Saying something so embarrassing, I might blush. I don't think Shy Main Act would be more convincing if she wasn't snickering like that. A pretty young woman in the prime of her life, so of course I could only write one kind of story. like cute fluffy stories, just like Strawberry Shortcake, filled with love and hope and happiness. Meaning, I wrote romance stories, of course. I stare at Suzumi in shock. Moo does the same. There's parted in a small low. Two of us turn to look at one another. Our expressions equally disbelieving. Then we look back at Suzumi. She's smiling so angelically, yelling into one hand like a refined princess from an all-girls school, that there might as well be a border of flowers blooming around her. This is so completely at odds with her earlier character, I can't help but gawp. No way! That's impossible! Do you know much about manga, Moo? I am quite particular to girls' manga, especially the ones with lots of hearts and sparkles. Oh yeah? Recall the glossy volume manga she was flipping through back at the bookstore. I was surprised to see her so engrossed in something that looked so pink, so sweet, so slightly Anamu-like. She's been a tomboy ever since I've known her, climbing up trees and scuffing her knees, catching bugs, getting food all over herself while eating. Guess there's a side to her I don't know about, that she's never shown me before. To be honest, I find it kind of endearing. Although I haven't read much romance manga myself, I've watched a lot of soap operas, which have similar kinds of storylines, do they? Yeah, both romances at any rate. Maybe a Moo and I have more in common than I thought. If you read a lot of romantic stories, shouldn't it be easy to design characters? Apparently it was that simple. Moo sighs. We love the stories, but really bad at drawing. Same here. Laugh awkwardly, rolling the back of my neck with one hand. Think Suzumi might have picked the wrong people for the job here. I just hope if we fail to produce anything worthwhile, she wouldn't get too mad. Or she tries to fillet us. Sure, Moo wouldn't be able to protect me, but I did get something drawn onto this paper, just in case. But I can't think of a single thing. It's a lot harder than I thought it would be. Maybe I should approach it from a different angle? What kind of characters are you interested in? Huh? What do you mean? You mean like my romantic preferences? Well, not really that per se. More like, let's start with the heroine. Is a heroine? I assume so. Most of the TV dramas I watch have heroines. Why not a hero? Some romantic stories with male main characters. Aren't the ones that follow men usually aimed at men? Might be right. Moo nods her head, ponytail bouncing. Most of the romance series I've read have female protagonists. It's because they assume the reader will be female, so they want a main character the audience can relate to, right? That's right. So for a main character, we want somebody relatable. I guess so. That's so vague. You sigh, throwing your hand up in the air in defeat. Too many people in the world. Making a heroine that everyone can relate to isn't possible. Well, it would be impossible to appeal to everybody. Shouldn't try to be so broad, I guess. Just focus on a common character archetype, maybe. If we make a character based on cliches, that'd be so boring. Who wants to read about some cute but shy, clumsy, homely girl who's good at cooking and sewing and never ever says no? There's nothing wrong with that kind of character, but I think that they might be a little overdone. I frown, placing my thumb underneath my lower lippers, I think. In TV dramas I've been watching lately, this kind of wholesome female protagonist is very popular. I don't find it too jarring, since I actually relate to that kind of character type, minus the highly accomplished housework skills, of course. I can't sew or cook to save my life, But I'm sure some people who don't fit those prerequisites wouldn't find it irritating, or would find it irritating to only see one type of character represented. There's many male characters I feel I can relate to all that much. I naturally start to watch TV shows and movies aimed at women, with female main characters. And I related a lot more to the shy and self-conscious female heroines than I did to the cool, confident men who populate crime dramas and action movies, even though I'm not the target audience for those cheesy melodramatic soaps. What would be the target audience want then? Maybe it's hard for me to come up with any ideas since I'm a guy. I don't know. Sigh. I wonder, just who is Suzumi's target audience anyway? Said she wrote romances, but she never specified if they were for men or women, or what the characters should be like. You know, there's no guarantee this is a romance story between a man and a woman either. Yeah, I was thinking the same. Suzumi didn't give us much information to work with. And knowing Suzumi, this manga of hers could be really weird. Like really, really weird. What do you mean, really, really weird? Well, I don't know. Pretty strange person, that's all. I guess that might be true. She is a little odd, I suppose. She is more than a little. I have no idea what a woman like that would want to write about. I'm not sure if I want to know either. Amu and I look at another, pencils in hand. Who tours us about, spinning it as though performing some kind of circus trick. I always feel like I should applaud her dexterity. Kind of impressive, even though the paper Suzumi gave us just as white and unblemished as before. So, I guess we're back to square one, huh? Yeah, I have no idea what to do. We could at least try to think of some characters, I guess. We could try. Let's start with the female protagonist then. Right, I'll do my best. It shouldn't be too hard, should it? With our combined knowledge of girls' mangas and TV dramas, we should be able to come up with something. This is, of course, unless this project Suzumi's roped us into is more suspect than she is letting on. I stare down at my drawing, a heavy feeling begins to form in the pit of my stomach. I swallowed an anchor. Can't believe it. After almost 2 hours discussion with Mu, designing and redesigning over and over again, this is all I have to show for it. This. How could this be it? After such a long time. Is my creative vision really so weak? Do you really lack so much imagination? As soon as she sees this strange character we concocted, she won't be happy. She won't be happy at all. Mu and I try to throw as many ideas into one character as possible, but instead of ending up a richly flavored and varied dish, it came out all wrong. Trying to make a curry with all the rats and leftovers looking back at the fridge. Ew. And the result is completely inedible. The character has the long, straight black hair of a traditional romance heroine, with the same slender body, but Mu decided this wasn't adventurous enough, so I had to dress her up in some really outlandish clothes. What in the anime is this girl? She wears some kind of military style shirt and a light pink ruffled skirt to add some cuteness. Wearing a loose white socks, a typical schoolgirl, and has a sailor style hat balanced on her head. The girl is complete with an eye patch over one eye to add to the mysterious effect, and cat ears and a tail because they're popular, and also seems to be sporting some vampire fangs. Don't go an army general, vampire, a cat girl, a schoolgirl, a magical girl? I don't know. I have no idea. It mostly just sounds like the dev had drawn up this character and felt like they didn't want to waste it, so they just kind of threw it in here. And the sad thing is, this girl is suffering from a severe identity crisis. I kind of feel sorry for her. There are way too many elements in here for it to work. Her character should look like this. Best place for her would be not be between the pages of manga, but in a paper shredder. Well, at least we tried. We really did try. Did our best, and therefore nobody can criticize us. And with that awkward laugh, her cheeks dusted like pink, Moo ruffles the back of her head, making her ponytail bounce. This is incredible. Looks so awful. Almost perfect unison, Moo and I jump, so electrocuted. We were so busy examining our handiwork that we failed to hear the shop door being opened. Ding of the bell overhead, or the soft pad or footsteps sneaking up behind us, until it was too late. Voice of a girl, loft and soft like silken tofu. I know even before turning my head that it definitely doesn't belong to Suzumi. Ah, right. Long time no see. Oh, wait, not Arai. Okay, hi, who are you? Girl, well, woman would be a more appropriate term. Looks like a good deal older than we are. Maybe she's in her mid-20s? It's hard to tell. Hair is light blonde and cut roughly around her face, completely obscuring one of her eyes. She's fairly chubby and dressed in a warm woolen sweater. Skin is strangely dark, darker than I've ever seen outside of Hollywood movies. It's obvious by a single glance she isn't fully Japanese. I don't know if I've ever seen a person who looks quite as obviously foreign before. Not even in the city. I'm worrying I'm gulping. Don't know what to gulp. Or I don't want to gulp. That would be incredibly impolite, wouldn't it? At least she doesn't seem to mind. Her one visible eye is half-lidded, sleepy, and there's a small smile on her face. She surveys us with this docile expression, offering a wave. Hello? Hello? Hey there. I didn't know new customer to come in. Judging by the tone of Moo's voice, she can hardly believe a customer would want to come in either. However, the mystery girl shakes her head, still smiling. No, I'm not a customer. You're not? No, I'm a friend. Suzu's friend. Suzu? I frowned, thinking, could that be Suzumi? Girl nods. Yes, that's right. I was Suzu's friend. Probably her only friend. Oh, wait, is this, Payo, or whatever her name was? This statement would sound kind of harsh if the mystery girl didn't say it so amicably. I don't doubt that she's telling the truth either. Based on Suzumi's abrasive personality, I'm not surprised she only has one friend. So, Suzumi's friend. What are you doing here? Girl opens her mouth, perhaps ready to respond when... Hi, Suzumi. Paya, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know why I got Payo in my head, but Paya, yeah. Here you are. Been waiting for ages. Suzumi comes walking into the room, with a cup of tea in one hand, with what seems to be cake crumbs spotted around her mouth. Distinct aroma of lemon balm drifts through the air, making me salivate. Come to think of it, it's been a while since I had anything to drink. This whole time while Moo and I worked, has Suzumi been lazing around drinking tea and eating cake? Well, I wouldn't put it past her. Seems to be a particularly shameless person. In fact, I doubt whether she has even heard of the word shame. Hello, Suzumi. Mystery girl Paya nods her head towards Suzumi, giving her the same sleepy wave she's offered a Moo and I earlier. Sorry I'm late. How's that work? Suzumi sniffs. Can't believe you think those part-time jobs of yours are more important than your duties as my assistant editor. Isn't my career far more important? This career is very important, but I need to work. I need money. I have to help my parents. I want to eat meat too. Honestly, you have so much more money if you stop going out for Korean barbecues all the time. Want to save up, you should just go vegetarian for a while. No, I could do that. That mean I'd die. If you keep shrieking your duties here, drifting off when I need you the most, you really will die. Do you understand? I understand, but what? I can't work without a manuscript. Can't do the inking when there's nothing to ink. Maybe grits her teeth together, obviously irritated. I look at Papaya, wobbling uneasy on her feet, with interest. So, you think Suzumi is a manga? Papaya nods her head. That's right, I do inking. All of it. And Suzumi draws all the characters and the backgrounds? Indeed, I'm a talented artist, you know. I've been in the industry all these years for nothing. Although I don't know much about the manga, that is kind of impressive. I thought a lot of manga artists had people to draw the more tricky things like scenery for them. Well, since Suzumi's entire team seems to consist of herself and Paya, maybe the real issue here is money. Anyway, let me take a look at what you two have come up with. Maybe stands between Amu and I, peering over our shoulders. She surveys our rough character design for a while in silence, one hand under her chin. Is she actually taking this seriously? She hasn't once shouted or issued a death threat, so maybe she likes it after all? Who knows with Suzumi? Isn't like anyone I've met before. It tasted quite strange. Maybe she can find some kernels of beauty hidden within this Frankenstein's monster that Moon I can't. This disconcerting eye of a professional. An incredible thing. I think I might have a newfound respect for Suzumi. Well, Suzumi eventually straightens up, wiping her hands together. That went just as terribly as I expected. Or not. Yeah, I figured as much. I figured she wouldn't like it. Terrible? Then he didn't like it at all? Of course not. Looks like something a 5-year-old would draw. No self-respecting manga artist would ever create a character like that. Just looking at it is embarrassing. I did say it was bad. Even I could tell that much. Jeez, it must be truly unsolvable if even Paya thinks that. Thank you, Suzu. Hey, now wait a second. Mia glares up at Suzumi, her hands clenched into fists. Action and I tried hard to create that, you know. This girl, she's the fruit of our labors, the culmination of our hard efforts. You have no right to mock it so casually. But the fruit of your hard labor sucks. So blunt. Well, maybe it isn't the best, but we tried our hardest. What's the point in asking us to design a character if you knew it was going to be bad anyway? I don't know. Perhaps I had a little bit of hope of your abilities, but a sigh. That's been well and truly extinguished now. You're horrible. It may be horrible, but being horrible makes the world go round. It's the only way to get things done. And Sumi claps her hands together, unpleasant little grin on her face. Before you start accusing me of being so irredeemably awful, maybe you should listen a little while longer. What is it? I have a proposition to make. Oh no, what is it this time? A proposition? So tell me how this sounds. Tomorrow I want the 3 of you, that includes you, Paya, to go to the beach. At these hollow words, the moon's eyes instantly light up, tranced just as moss started to open flames. The beach? Sounded so excited she was practically squealing. So much for being mad at Suzumi. Suzumi smirks. That's right. I would like the three of you to go to the beach and do some people watching on my behalf. Trying to find some interesting girls I could base characters on. Take a load of pictures too. Once you my camera, just make sure not to get it near the water, okay? The beach? Going to the beach. Haven't been in ages. Think he's missing a few key points of concern here. So you want us to go to the beach and photograph loads of girls in swimsuits? Well, it doesn't have to be swimsuits, but that's the general idea. So you want us to spy women and take photos of them? If you want to put it like that, I suppose you could. That's all a matter of personal preference, really. But doesn't that sound creepy? Like really, really creepy? So when he catches us doing that, we might get arrested. Now, hush your concerns. If I send an entourage of men to do this job, running with the police might pose a genuine threat. But if it's a group of cute girls like you, nobody will suspect a thing. I'm not a girl? You might as well be. You're scrawny enough. Hey, my miles around my middle, trying to protect my body from Suzumi's merciless gaze. And though I know she has a point, she didn't have to say it like that. I have some pride too. And anyway, the beach is about 4 hours away. Train tickets are really expensive. How will we get there? It's simple. It is. That's right. Paya can drive you. You can drive? Look at Paya. Standing against the wall, head rolling, visible eyes closed. Every once in a while, noises escape from between her parted lips. I think she's falling asleep. Just why is this girl so sleepy? Just from a series of late nights, and she doesn't seem to have any dark bags under her eyes, not like Sakai. Is it a medical condition? Maybe she has really bad allergies and has to take loads of medication for it? Don't they always say something on the back of those antihistamine tablets? Something like you do not take while operating heavy machinery? I also just know she's got little C's coming out the top of her head there. God, that's adorable. I can't count as heavy machinery. It would be incredibly easy to kill a whole car full of unsuspecting innocents if the driver wasn't paying attention enough. And why does Suzumi want to come along? Something really fishy about this whole setup. So, is there any reason why you're not going to come along for the trip? It is your manga after all. I know, but I had the shop to run. Besides, my little sister might want me for something. I can never leave her on her own like that. Hey, you know Raya's 15, right? Of course I know how old she is. She's my beloved little sister. What suggestion? So, don't you think she's old enough to take care of herself? Have no tact to move. Absolutely none. No idea how my adorable little Rai could have been friends with you to begin with. I'm a little in the dark about that one too. Anyway, you'll do it for me, won't you? You go to the beach, right? Well, you know, I had to go to work tomorrow. Sumi snorts while waving one hand carelessly. Who cares about that? If it's for the sake of poor Suzumi's smile, you'll do it, right? Don't want to break my little heart, do you? Well, if you insist, I can take a day off. I do like the beach. That's the spirit. Yes, of course we'll go. We will? Speaking of work, aren't you meant to be helping out your parents' cafe, Amu? I guess, but that's no fun. Even if it isn't fun, you still have to do it, don't you? I'm sure I could think up some excuse. I wanted to go to the beach for ages. There's so many things I want to do. I want to smash a watermelon. So long as you do your work, I don't care what you do. You could smash the boy's head in for all I care. Please no smashing of the head. I've already been murdered enough as is, and we've already seen Amu's powerful arms and what they can do with a good smack to the head with a baseball bat, so no thanks. How sinister. Will I really be alright going on this journey? But when I see Amu looking so excited with her whole face lit up, how could I say no? I do, however, have one stipulation. Suzumi, just had a thought. Oh? What is it? Why do you think it's worth my time? Well, rather than taking the photographs, my friend is really good at drawing, far, far better than Amu and I, and so I thought maybe I could take her along too. She could draw the pictures instead. I mean, that's kind of nice. We can take them all along with us. And who knew choosing a little option like that is going to take us on a completely different adventure this time. It's never ending with this game. Your cooking is divine, Chio. You just can't beat it. Thank you, your charmer, you. My grandfather pats his stomach in satisfaction, content a smile on his face. Well, there's plenty more where that came from. Hope you're ready for seconds. I was born ready, Chio. Just bring it on. Smile as I listen to my grandparents' light-hearted banter. Being with them feels relaxing, almost like lying in a hot bath. Maybe it's because they always seem so cheerful and carefree. But even so, can't help but worry. Shudder at an unwelcome thought crosses through my mind. The character that Amu and I designed today, after a great deal of effort. Confused, conflicted character design with so many random details, it makes my head hurt just thinking about it. How on earth did we ever get roped into working on a manga? How can Amu and I ever create something that will appease that demon Suzumi, especially when our first design was so bad? But if I can't create something better, lower life might be on the line here. Dear, grandmother looks at me, tilting her head to one side. She frowns. You alright? I'm okay. It's just, you don't have indigestion. No, it's not that. It's more like, oh, I know. Grandfather grins proudly. It's girl trouble, isn't it? Well... Grandpa's assessment is actually rather accurate, though probably not in the way he imagines it. Sumi is a girl, after all, and so is this character I'm supposed to be designing. Misunderstanding my silence, my grandpa laughs, clapping his hands together. So, you finally got yourself a lady friend, have you? Good job, son. Hey, what do you mean, finally? I mean, I married Chio here at the tender age of 17. Got to strike while the iron is hot, lad. Or you still have a full head of hair and all your teeth at least. That's my motto. That's an awfully long motto. But that was years ago, Grandpa. Nobody gets married that young anymore. I know. It's a sad business. It's why there's so few youngsters about nowadays. This whole village is filled with oldies like us. It's kind of depressing. That's why we'd be so happy if you found a nice girl. I'm looking forward to having great grandchildren someday, you know. Shoulder slump, burned by the heavy weight of my grandparents' expectations. How could I have a kid now? I haven't even finished school yet. I think you're getting a little ahead of yourselves there. So you don't have a girlfriend? Not right now, no. You didn't meet anyone nice in the city? I met lots of nice people, but I'm not dating any of them. But what's this? There's a picture of a lucky lady here. A picture? Wait, what? I felt around inside my pocket, but nothing in there. It's empty, devoid of even all the tissues I usually carry around about with me. Did they fall out when I was setting the dinner table? Then that piece of copper paper held in my grandfather's hand is... oh no, it couldn't be. Oh no, it is. You can't. Don't look at it. I get to my feet, reaching across the table, but... now, what's this? I'm far too late. Grandpa stares at this sheet of paper, his eyebrows furrowed. I feel a cold sweat breaking out across my forehead. My whole body trembles. I feel ill. Sharing this picture with Sumi was embarrassing enough, but with my grandparents, just what are they going to say? I mean, why the hell did you take it home with you? I would have torn that piece of shit up. Grandpa frowns. This isn't one of those two-dimensional anime girls, is it? No, it isn't. But she's got cat ears and a tail. She doesn't look like any woman I know. Oh my, how unusual. I've never seen something so strange before. This wouldn't be your image of an ideal woman, would it, lad? No, of course not. Why were you carrying it around in your pocket? I used to carry a picture of Jutaro with me in my purse when I was younger. It was very romantic. I feel my face growing redder and redder. Shift awkwardly, head hanging unsure of what to do. I wish right now I could just disappear into the ground. Don't even want to be alive anymore. I know being young is a difficult time, son, but maybe we need to have a talk. No, we don't need to. Oh, please, no. Not a talk. He's resting his hand on my shoulder. I can't get away. All the animated girls in TP. I know they're pretty, but they're not real. Might be alluring with their slim figures and sweet personalities, but they're all lies. You're chasing a phantoms, lad. You won't find any woman like that out there in the real world, no matter how hard you look. Grandmother gives Grandfather a pointed look. Her lips pursed. What do you mean you know they're pretty? Uh-oh. Grandparents aren't gonna go on a murdering spree, are they now? You haven't been watching any of those shows yourself, have you? Of course, Grandpa would be into the hentai and whatnot. Grandpa looks away, stuttering. I'm not intentionally, no. But it's a long old life, and sometimes this old man gets curious, you know. I can't help it. But when I'm awake at night, I can't get to sleep. It just so happens to be on the TV. Just so happens, you say. I wonder. Knowing you long enough, Jotaro, to know things don't just happen with you. Grandmother bears down upon my grandfather, her eyebrows knitted together, holding a ladle in her hands. Now where did she get that from? Come now, Chio, you're overreacting. Don't like any of those imaginary women as much as I like you. Really? Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. Even if they're younger, cuter, curves in all the right. A loud crack rings through the room like an eggshell splitting. because the paper pasted between my grandfather's hands falls to the ground. Well, this was not where I was expecting it to go. I hope grandmother didn't hit grandfather too hard with the ladle. Skull of an elderly man must be a delicate thing indeed. And then back to cheery music and a freaking picture. Just witnessed that atrocity and we're looking at another atrocity. So the girl drawn on the retreat piece of paper for a few moments. Dark hair, cat ears, practical costume. Looks even stupider than I remember it. Sorry, Grandpa. Sorry that you got beaten up over something silly as this. Though, to be honest, you shouldn't have picked it up to begin with. You probably shouldn't have told Grandma about your strange TV watching habits. Or me either. There's some things I'd be happier off not knowing. Pick up the piece of paper quickly, crumpling it in one hand, and shove it into the deepest, darkest recesses of my pocket, where no light can reach it. It's where the picture belongs. If I wasn't sure of it, I am now. Can't design a cute character on my own. Need Noel's help. Desperately. Before anyone else gets hit over the head with a freaking ladle. Hey, Noel. Hello, Action. Elle gives me a weak smile with her hands held behind her back. I got the sports Suzumi designated yesterday outside my old school. The old rickety building stands behind me, looking much the same as it ever did. Comprised mostly of wood, seemingly almost ready to collapse in on itself at any given moment. Briefly, I wonder how old this building even is. Mother went to the same school as I did when she was a young girl. I think my grandmother before her. The 3 generations this building has supported, and I don't know if it even has enough strength to support much more. I was worrying when I sat at my desk trying to focus on my mathematics that the whole roof was going to cave in someday, crushing me to death under its bulk. Maybe this is why I'm so bad at maths. Then again, these grim premonitions might not have any basis in common sense, given I do worry quite a lot. Once when I was younger, I became convinced Miss Takibana was actually an incarnation of a spiritual child murderess, who an urban legend Noel told me, and I had to be escorted out of the classroom in tears. Poor Achon. Just thinking about that is enough to make me shudder. I hope I didn't offend Mrs. Takibana too much. I always did like her. So, Elle looks at me from underneath her bangs, toying with her hair anxiously. Eyelashes keep fluttering, just like the wings of a sooty black butterfly. You called me last night, but I'm still not entirely sure of the details. You mean you want me to go to the beach? Yeah, that's about right. I mean, found running one hand through my hair. Feels a lot more awkward than it should be. Are we supposed to be best friends? Maybe it's because outside my poorly explained phone conversation yesterday, this is the first contact I've had with Noel for 2 years. Maybe it's natural that I would feel somewhat stilted. I mean, I don't want you to go to the beach, it was Suzumi's idea. Oh. So, Elle's gaze drops down towards her feet. Looks so wan, so lonely, like a single snowdrop buffeted by the winter winds. You didn't really want to invite me? Is that how it is? Immediately I realize I said the wrong thing. Again, as usual. I pedal hastily, waving my arms, trying to repair the damage I've done. Oh, it's not like that. I didn't mean it that way. I mean, I do want you to come. Of course I do. I haven't seen you in so long, and I'd love to catch up. Is that true? Of course. Oh, well. Elle's gaze darts up to mine, or to meet mine, falls back down to her feet again. Is it just my imagination, or is she blushing? Surely not. I don't know. I mean, pause. If you really wanted to catch up, why didn't you write me any letters? I went. Though voices stopped and stuttering, as much impact as any enraged shout would. I feel my face flushing red from shame. Complete radio silence over the last 2 years must have really upset Noelle. It prompted her to ask such a bold question. Well, of course it would upset her. It'd be stupid trying to assume otherwise, even for a second. We were best friends, supposed to be anyway, and yet never told her I was going to move. I could never pluck up the courage. One day I was here eating lunch with Noelle in the classroom and talking about her favourite TV shows. Next, I was gone, whisked away to another side of the country. And in my shocking display of cowardice, I felt far too guilty to even try to explain myself. Mere thought of dialing Noelle's number on the phone or picking up a pen to write her a letter filled me with so much apprehension my teeth started to chatter. I couldn't do it. I was too scared. I kept putting it off, afraid that Noelle might be upset with me. And so, like the fool I am, I only made it worse. Just like leaving a wound to fester without going to the hospital. I'm sorry. Though this measly apology will offer Noelle much comfort, like expecting a dish rag to shelter a homeless person from a winter snowstorm. But at least there's something. Something I should have said to her a long, long time ago. I didn't... right back. I didn't want to talk to you. I guess I was kind of scared. Scared? Why would she be scared? Will tips her head to one side. Lips parted in a small O. Am I really such a scary person? No, you're not scary. I beg to differ. You couldn't be, not even if you tried. I mean, again. Well, you should count yourself lucky that I'm not going to try. Not right now. Well, that doesn't sound foreboding at all. Thanks. I owe you one. After the way I treated you, I probably deserve to be scared a little. Yes, I was thinking that as well, but at least you apologized. I get the feeling it might be far too little much too late though. No, it's fine. Elle shakes her head slowly, hair caught in the early morning breeze. I am happy. Happy that you apologized now. I think you should have done it sooner, but it's better late than never. Yeah, I guess. I was glad I wasn't too late. Smiled awkwardly, hands thread together at my front. I was just scared. Scared that I'd upset you. That by moving without saying goodbye, I had caused you pain. And I didn't want that. I didn't want to hear that you were suffering. Not because of me. So I tried to ignore it. Tried to stop thinking about it. But, you know me, you can probably guess how well that turned out. Brief smile rises to Noelle's lips. It's only a tiny flicker of her expression, minuscule in the grand scheme of things, but my eyes nag on it, unable to look away. It's a smile that raises my spirits, makes my heart feel strangely light. Well, knowing you, Akchan, probably worked yourself up into a state, got all flustered and anxious, and had some kind of panic attack. Yeah, that does sound like me. It really does. Just like the time we were 10, you thought that Mrs. Takibana was the slip-mouthed lady. I bristle, my face flooding beetroot red from my past embarrassment. Hey, that was an easy mistake to make. She was wearing a surgical mask and everything. Because there was that cold going around. I know that. I just wasn't expecting it, that's all. It caught me off guard. Especially since you told me that creepy story on a few days ago. I still remember that memory fondly. Why would you remember that fondly? I was in tears. It took a whole hour for me to calm down. I know. Whenever I felt dejected or despairing that you had not sent me any letters, remember you looking like that, face stained with tears. It kept me going. Saying you used a memory of my painful humiliation to comfort yourself? Oh, nods her head, smiling guilelessly, like an angel. Yep, that's definitely the murderous Noah we know and come to love. Helped me to sustain me, more than 3 meals a day if it could. I whimper, wrapping my arms around my middle. How mean. No meaner than you not saying goodbye. Right for the fucking throat on that one. That's a fair point. I guess I had to concede this much to you. Thank you. Oh, Giggles, give me a small bow. Although it may not look like it, I can be quite sturdy. Still smiling, she holds up her right arm, flexing non-existent muscles. Skin really does look pale, even under the orange morning light. And to match your wits, I think I bested you. Well, I can't argue with that. Pretty quiet around everyone else, but you don't spare me from your acid tongue. I think you need a small dose of poison every once in a while. Uh-oh, why do I get the feeling that there's gonna be another murder out? Helps build up immunity. It does. Oh, I thought I'd get much of that from a moon, not important from not little old Noelle here. Take small doses of poison every day, body builds up its defenses and becomes better at fighting it off. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, it kind of is. People really can adapt to things, or to anything. Noah smiles to herself, looking pleased. Wonder why? Is it because we were finally able to clear the air after so long? I'm sure knowing why I never kept in contact with her was a huge relief. Not knowing can be one of the worst things in the world. I can vouch for this peril of wisdom as a first grade warrior myself. Anyway, about your trip. Yeah? Well, you said on the phone it was for research? Or some kind of manga? Ah, that's right. I mean, it may sound kind of unbelievable, but through a series of coincidences, somehow I managed to get roped into a very odd project. You see, there's this woman, Suzumi, one who works at the antique store you like. I think you know her? The one with the dark hair? Yeah, that's right. Oh, I never knew she was called Suzumi. Neither did I until a few days ago, which I worry is particularly ignorant given she went to my school. No one can be forgiven this gap in her knowledge since she transferred into our school late, only a year before Suzumi graduated. I'd been in the same classroom with her for 6 years. Surely I should have remembered her name. I guess not. Even though I've lived in this village almost my entire life, I still don't know what all the trees in the forest are called, or how to identify birds by the sound of their song. Maybe I'm just an unobservant person. Must be because I spend so much time mulling over my own anxieties, anxious musings, rather than focusing on the world around me. Well, apparently Suzumi is a manga artist, and got me to help her somehow. I didn't know you could draw, Akchan. Yeah, I can't. It's more like she decided to send me on this trip for research. Find interesting characters to put in a story. Oh, I see. I suppose that makes sense. Oh, nods her head, purple ribbon fluttering. And do you want me to draw some of these characters? Is that why you asked me to come? Well, partially, but I do want to spend some time with you too. thought going on a trip to the beach together would be fun. Even if it is a business trip. Elle turns her head away, hiding underneath her bangs. Thank you. I wouldn't let you down. I'll do my best. You can never let me down, no matter what. I have complete and utter faith in you. Really? Really. You are my best friend, after all. Well, just back in the same spot. Two of us wait around for a few minutes, engaged in light conversation. Elle looks about her. The school dyed orange under the morning light and frowns. Where are Moo and Paya? I thought they were meant to meet us here. Not that Noelle knows what Paya looks like, given she's never met her before. Is that why Noelle looks so anxious, fidgeting alternatively with the hem of her skirt and a ribbon in her hair? Never been good at dealing with strangers, even though she has no problem poking fun at me. Come to think of it, she's never gotten along that well with a Moo either. Don't think it's that the two dislike one another, though. They just have very little in common, so struggle to make conversation. But this trip turns out alright, after all. I guess it's kind of early. Maybe they're running late? You think? It's 6 AM. Since the beach is about 3.5 hours away by car, Sumi stipulated that we should meet together as early as possible, so we can spend more time at the beach. Can't fault her logic there, but get up at 6 AM during a holiday? Really? That's even earlier than I have to get up for school. That's a really cruel and unusual punishment. Even now, with a refreshing breeze blowing across my face, can't stifle my yawns. By contrast, Noelle looks fresh and sweet, like a newly picked flower. She doesn't have a single strand of hair out of place. She peers at me from under her fringe, blinking slowly. I don't think it's that early. You would say that, being a morning person. Not everybody is the same. Paya's behavior yesterday doesn't fill me with much confidence. She was even able to fall asleep standing up. Don't know that was physically possible. Thought it was just a thing cartoon characters did. Evidently not. Are we really going to be okay with that woman driving us? I kept having nightmares about it yesterday. Visions of my imminent fiery death. Maybe that's why I feel so tired. I don't want to die in a car crash. After I managed to make up with Noelle, it seemed like a messy and unnecessary way to go. And we're finally in the car and off. As it turns out, however, Paya was more than 20 minutes late and she greeted us with a sleepy smile. She is actually more competent at driving than I thought. Car, I don't know what type of car it is. Never been good with stuff like that. Handled smoothly. Able to make even the bumpy, pothole-ridden roads that weave around our village seem like a link of long, unbroken velvet ribbon. I'm impressed. Guess what they say is true. And they can't judge people based on appearances after all. Moo, who arrived fashionably late herself, though not quite as late as Paya, is sitting in the front of the car, fiddling around with the radio. Of course she would be. Moo always fiddles with things, especially things that don't belong to her. She's like a monkey. Probably best not to say that to her face unless we want more bruises on our body. Do you have any tapes? Can we put on some music? Music distracts me. Distracts you? I can only see the back of a moose's head. I can imagine she is pulling a face. But isn't that the point of music? To distract? Driving for so long without anything to occupy your mind must get really boring. No, it isn't boring. You mean you like it? It is relaxing. Vibrations are soothing. Well, make sure it doesn't soothe you so much you fall asleep. Hey, once again, binary sound sound with less substance than air. You know, it makes my back stiffen, preparing for the worst, but nothing comes of it. Polly continues to hand the car into just as well as before, rail along at a pleasant speed, not too fast and not too slow. Even I, who knows nothing about cars, can tell. She really is good at this. Isn't like my mother, who grips the steering wheel so tight her knuckles turn white, hissing obscenities under her breath at anybody who dares to overtake her. She isn't like my father, who is so cautious he always ends up driving far too slowly, to the irritation of everybody behind him. Maybe Paya has a talent. I wouldn't fall asleep when driving. It's fun. You think this is fun? Like sewing or knitting. Same kind of thing. And do you actually like doing that stuff? Repetitive motions. There's a kind of beauty in it. It is aesthetically pleasing. Well, I guess we all have our own hobbies. And if they are kind of weird... Sue calls me weird a lot. But I think that's hypocritical. Sue really is the weirdest, isn't she? Indeed. Mo sitting by my side in the back of the car, nods her head. I can relate to that a little. He turns around, her pink ponytail bouncing, and gives Noelle a confused glance. You can? Yes. I mean, face flushing, Noelle ducks her head, clutching a sketchbook close to her chest. As per my instructions yesterday, she brought it along with her to aid us in our character creating attempts. I like drawing, because it's so relaxing. Moving the pencil across the page, it's repetitive, but that's what makes it enjoyable. Huh? Maybe that's why I'm not good at it then. I always get too impatient. It takes a while, but that is what makes it worthwhile, I think. Things that take a long time are the most fulfilling. I offered Noelle a small smile. Like when you used to walk 40 minutes into town just to buy that jelly you like so much? Yes, exactly like that. What made the jelly taste even better? I don't know what you're talking about. I love how Moo's now replaced by this bubble of emojis. When I want something, I want it right away. Waiting around is so way too boring. And that's why you never got good grades in school. Says you. Never got any grades any better than me, mister. I break off looking at my lap. Even though I want to, I can't refute Moo's words. She's right. I've never really stood out in any subjects in school. Not math, not science, not art. I'm possibly decent when it comes to Japanese literature, but I'm woefully average when it comes to everything else. And that's the story of my life. Even though I actually tried to study, like Moo shrugs off all these responsibilities with an "it's not interesting, so I don't care." I never scored that much higher than her. And the sad thing is, I get the strong feeling if Moo actually put a little bit of effort into her academic career, she'd get really good grades. She just doesn't want to. Why am I so useless? Purple with cotton wool instead of the brain. Hey, cheer up. Noelle. Look at Noelle, seeking comfort in a soft smile. A nostalgic way her silver hair falls over her shoulders. Is she going to comfort me during my time of need? This must be because Noelle is a true friend. Like a Moo, she doesn't make fun of me. You want to bet? Sometimes, no matter how hard you try, you can never succeed. Some people are just bad at things, so why don't you just give up? Man, what a fucking gut punch thing to say. That wasn't comforting at all. If anything, it felt like an insult. Get the freaking emoji. Well, I had no idea you were so mean. It was mean? Incredibly. You broke his poor heart in two. Oh dear. I was only trying to be truthful. But there are some times when the truth is just too painful. Couldn't you have spared his feeling with a little white lie? Oh, yes. I'm impressed that you thought of such a thing. Never crossed my mind. The girl bows her head to a moon, thanks. A single trace of irony on her face. I mean, you're very clever. It's a very high-level technique. Well, she grins sheepishly, using up her hair with one hand. It's not so clever. It just seems like common sense. I see. Well, clenches her hand into a fist at her front. Common sense. My thought always tells me I don't have enough of it. I need to study hard so I can improve myself. I'll join in too. Sue says I have no common sense either. So, following what I have learned, I'll try to amend my previous statement. Elle turns to me, brushing her hair out of her eyes, and smiles. You're not completely stupid, Ak-chan, even though you do not have any particular talents. Maybe we should just leave it there for today, thank you. I'm sure if you work hard, someday you'll be able to achieve something. Don't give up. I whimper in pain, clutching my hand to my chest. Feels as though I've been shot by an arrow. An arrow tipped with a lethal poison. Though Noel told me earlier people can become immune to poison if they take small doses every day. For me, it's already far too late. I can feel my immune system shutting down. At least, my last vestiges of self-respect draining away. Is this a form of punishment? No, trying to make me feel bad for abandoning her. Or else, was that a genuine attempt to comfort me? Noel, you don't really think I'm stupid, do you? Why is this pause so long? It should be a simple yes or no answer, shouldn't it? Under normal circumstances, I would say yes, a little, but apparently telling white lies can spare the feelings of others and strengthen relationships. So, with this in mind, sparkling seraphic smile. No, I don't think you're stupid at all. Thanks, Noel, just what we needed. So cruel. I'm in defeat, slumping back against my seat with a thud. All I want to do is curl up into a ball, right out of existence. Moo whistles under her breath. Looks impressed. Really knocked Ak-chan down there, Noel. Don't think he'll be getting up again for a while. You mean I did something wrong? Was my technique too powerful? It really was powerful. Maybe you shouldn't try to be polite to people anymore. You could call that being polite. Yay! We're finally here! It's the beach! The beach! Moo clambers out of the car before Paya even had the time to turn off the engine, moving in a flow of flaying limbs and fluttering hair. Time to call car door hard, far harder than necessary. The resultant thud splits through the air, making me jump. Come on, everybody, aren't you excited? We're at the beach. Let's go, let's go. You sure sound energetic for someone who fell asleep on the way here. Of course I fell asleep. I had to wake up at 6 a.m. What were you expecting? Duh. Was that duh really necessary? Well, at least she seems enthusiastic. Wow, how impressive. Bill nods her head with what appears to be newfound respect, eyes wide. I couldn't be like that. I would just time myself out. Most people would get tired if they lived like a moo. Maybe that's why she needed a nap. To power up her batteries. Moo runs on batteries? Mean she's a robot? No, not really. Just a figure of speech. Oh, I see. Your size. Isn't upset by this revelation, is she? Does she want Amu to be a robot? What a strange girl. Hey guys, come on! You're wasting valuable beach time. Let's get going. Pretty insistent, isn't she? A little. But... Will frowns, retrieving her sketchbook from her lap and hugging it to her chest. I think it's admirable, in a way, to live like that, always smiling. Wish I could do it too. Well, I wonder, even though these two haven't really spoken before, could this trip change all of that? Maybe, just maybe, going out together like this, forced to spend time in one another's company, could help their relationship grow stronger. I like that. Noelle and Amu, two of my best friends, could set aside their differences and become closer, even if it's just a little. Make me happy. I think they could both use a good friend. Shift unbuckling my seatbelt and opening the car door. I step outside, greeted by the smell of sea salt. Dances in the air, lingering on my tongue. Can't hear the cicadas here. Instead, I'm greeted by the noisy call of the seagulls. It really is the seaside, huh? Yeah, man, it's nice to kind of have a different bit of scenery this time, instead of cooped up in that little village. I haven't been here in ages. Last time I went to the beach was probably 4 or 5 years ago. Time sure does fly. Noah steps out of the car alongside me, still holding a sketchbook. Sea breeze, cool and crisp, makes her white dress flutter around her knees. Toying with the purple ribbon in her hair so it dances like a paper streamer. Moo bounds forwards to meet me, taking hold of my hands in hers. Yay! Finally, you're here! Been waiting so long. I flush when our hands make contact and look away, directing my gaze a little over her shoulder. There's no need to be so melodramatic. It's only been a couple of minutes. Only? A couple of minutes is a long time, Ak-chan. It can mark the difference between peace and war, life and death. That may be true, but none of us are in imminent danger of dying, are we? You never know. Don't get too complacent, Ak-chan. Again, don't we know it? Don't we know it? I gulp. Was that a threat? Who knows? As long as you didn't bring a baseball bat, we're good, right? Although with a punch like yours, it could probably go straight through my head, so... Moo turns around, about, letting go of my hands and looks back towards the car. Now, where's Paya? Where indeed? It's a very good question. Follow Moo's gaze turning back to the car. Sitting in the driver's seat, her head leaning against the steering wheel, her visible eyes tightly shut, is Paya. Of course she is asleep. There's a string of drool glistening on her chin, and her chest is rising and falling slowly. Looks like she is asleep. Did she fall asleep the very moment she pulled the car into the parking lot? That is kind of troubling. She'd done the same thing when we were out in the middle of the road. Maybe Amu was right. Could have been skirting a lot closer to death than any of us imagined. Paya yawns, pressing one hand against her mouth. Hair looks even more disheveled than usual. Tears are beating in the corner of her eyes. Moo looks at her dubiously. How are you even able to hold a job? For a few moments, Paya opens her eye. Paya herself looks worried about this query. It is a mystery. It really is. So, about this project we're working on, what kind of manga is it exactly? Huh? That's a very good question, Noel. It is? Yeah, unfortunately, me frowns, one hand under her chin. Sumi wasn't super generous with her information. Don't really know. Said it was a romance story, but I don't know what kind of romance. Oh, but what's that the photo in the sketchbook? Looks anxious. If we don't know what kind of story she is writing, how will we know what kind of characters to include? Another good question. Although it's all kind of vague, Sumi did specify that we should look for cute girls at the beach. So I guess most of the characters should be young girls. Young girls. I see. Well, nods her head, committing this piece of information to her mind with that single gesture. I'm not very good at drawing people. I'm good at drawing animals and landscapes. I just hope my skills will be. Let me try that again. I just hope my skills will be sufficient. Hey, I'm sure we'll be fine. Well blinks. She looks surprised. Is that because of the unexpected vote of confidence coming from a girl she hardly knows? Yeah, I've seen the paintings you do in art class, and some of them are really good. Even if I don't understand the newest one you've been working on. Well, that painting, that's more of a work in progress. I might not finish it at all. Huh? But why not? Miss Takebana said it looked really good. I know that, but it's kind of personal. Personal? It wrinkles her nose. I don't know how something like that could be personal. Is that just a load of spirals? Well, if it appears that way, it means probably haven't done my job. As an artist, that painting is a failure. Really, I should just scrap it and move on. What picture are you talking about? It's nothing, really. It's more like a scribble than anything else, and it's outdated now anyway. Outdated? Can't really get outdated. Even really old works of art still getting displayed in galleries are often landed as masterpieces. Seems I may have a lot to learn about art, after all. Well, I drew the picture based on how I feel, but Elle blinks up at me from her sketchbook, her lashes fluttering. Obviously, as a human being, my feelings change a lot. They change all the time, so it was hard to capture how I felt. I had to create something. Objective, maybe. Something that was true. It cannot be misinterpreted through language. But I don't know if I feel like that, like I did before anymore, so Penny is worthless now. I see. Even though I don't, not really. Maybe it would help if I actually knew what the painting in question looked like, but I doubt I'll get a chance to see it. Moo doesn't really seem to get it either, though, and she does have the privilege of knowing what the painting looks like. Maybe it's something too abstract to understand. Keep thinking to explain what art is, especially good art, is quite difficult. Something philosophers have pondered over for a long time. They don't all agree with one another. Trying to explain these things using language is a lot harder than people give it credit for. Anyway, tentatively Noel tries to steer the subject matter away from a painting towards safer ground. Should we start doing research with Suzumi's manga? I wouldn't want to let her down. Huh. Oh, nah. Mia's reply is flippant, completely casual. She grins, waving one hand in a dismissive motion. Will frowns. But didn't we come here so we could do research? Ostensibly, yes, but... I shudder, thinking back to those very long, very sharp fingernails Susumi has. You could probably dissect a frog with talons like that more effectively than a blunted scalpel in a biology classroom could. Kai is forever bemoaning that the scalpels in our class aren't sharp enough, and she can't open her specimens with precaution or precision they deserve. Yeah, if we don't do what Susumi wants, we might get in serious trouble. Suzu is a scary person. He has a very short temper. Hey, I'm not saying we shouldn't do our work. It's not it at all. Then what are you saying exactly? I'm saying since we came to the beach, we might as well have some fun. It'd be a waste coming all this way if we never got to eat ice cream or split a watermelon or go swimming. Let off fireworks, right? But you had ice cream yesterday. Watermelon is so expensive. I'd rather have meat. And I didn't bring a swimsuit either. Tisk tisk. Mia clicks her tongue against the roof of her mouth and wags a finger in our direction, just like an admonishing teacher. Why are you giving up so easily, you guys? I'm disappointed. It's an easy way to get around all these problems, you know. Which is... Mia grins, face lighting up like a beacon. Let's go shopping. Oh, great. Who's going to be the one paying for this stuff exactly? Do you really think this suits me? Of course it does. It's adorable. I don't really know. You don't trust me? No, it isn't that. It's just, And let's get a second opinion. Hey, Achan. What is it? In my head, blinking in the direction of the girls' changing room. Moo dragged Noelle in there a while ago. The store's entire swimsuit section crammed underneath her arm. I felt a pang of guilt as I watched Moo ferry Noelle away, wondering if I should do something to stop her. Plain look at Noelle shot me over her shoulder. Eyes wide, face flushed, sure seemed like a cry for help, but Moo gets fired up, she really gets fired up. She was charging forwards like a bulldozer, eyes blazing with passion. I knew if I got in her way, she'd only run me over. I'm sorry, Noelle. Sorry that my cowardice condemned you to such a grim fate. I've been wandering around stores for a while now. Moo's hunt for the perfect swimsuit. A girl who doesn't like clothes that much and usually favors comfortable sweaters over cute dresses. Moo's been awfully thorough about this search. Expected her to just pick up the cheapest swimsuit in the first store we went to, but she's actually taken it seriously. Maybe it's because Noelle was with her. Is she just excited that she has somebody else to dress up? When we were younger, Moo was always trying to force me into her clothes, especially when I lost those sadistic punishment games of hers. Shudder at the memory. They really were embarrassing times. In a way, I'm glad I go to the new school now. At least Sakai, Miho, and Yuna don't know about these humiliating memories from my childhood. Tend to keep it that way. Achan, we're gonna show you how we look. Make sure you give your honest opinion, okay? Sure. I'll be honest. Like you guys are honest with me, right? But get a feeling I'll get beat up if I do. Good. Now, on the count of 3. 1. Do we really have to? 2. I'm not sure about this. 3. I mean, they're cute. That's all I have to say. And to remember, there's 16. Can't say anything too inappropriate, you know. Ta-da! And with a triumphant yell, Moo throws out, open the door of the changing rooms, revealing herself in all her swimsuit glory. Moo's outfit is a surprisingly cute choice. Two-piece costume in pink. Matches her pink hair. She stands there proudly, one hand on her hip, grinning. Well, meanwhile, is hiding behind Moo's back, so it's a little hard to see what she looks like, but seems like Moo has picked out a white and pale purple costume for her. A lot of ruffles and frills. Her hair is even tied up in 2 pigtails. Never seen her style her hair like that before. Where did Moo get those hair accessories anyway? Did she pick them up off a shelf? She really planned this attack through, didn't she? Maybe this girl could have been a great military general she lived several hundred years ago. So, what do you think? Moo beams, turning around in a circle. Grace bounces as she moves jubilantly. I stare at her, unsure. She isn't going to hit me if I say the wrong thing, is she? Knowing her, she'd probably hit me one way or another. Oh, it's cute. At least Paya comes to my rescue, answering for me with her now familiar sleepy smile. We puffs out her chest proudly, hands on her hips. Of course it's cute. I chose it, didn't I? No, it doesn't fit her. That princess-like laugh doesn't fit Moo's character at all. Paya doesn't seem to mind this discrepancy between Moo's voice and her appearance, however. Then she smiles sleepily, nodding her head. Oh, well done. I'm impressed. Even applauding. Doesn't Moo really deserve that much praise? However, Paya seems to forget, during her round of applause, that she was supposed to be holding Noelle's sketchbook. Sketchbook falls from my hands, now otherwise disposed, and lands on the floor with a thud. My sketchbook. It peers out from over Moo's shoulders, eyes wide, making the kind of expression a mother might make if their newborn baby was dropped, head first, on the floor, by a particularly incompetent doctor. I'm worried, judging by the light film over her eyes, that she might start crying. Being dragged around by Moo for 2 hours, forced in and out of numerous swimsuits, must have been stressful. Clumsy mishandling of the sketchbook, and most prized possession, may be the final straw. Paya, however, remains oblivious. Oh, what's wrong? Why should I look so sad when you're so cute? Has she even realized she's dropped Noelle's sketchbook? Paya even live in the same reality as the rest of us? Hey, don't worry, I got it. Offer Noelle, I hope it's a comforting smile. I've been down fishing the sketchbook up off the floor. Luckily, it hasn't gotten too dusty. Now the pages seem to be bent. Noelle returns my smile with a small, hesitant one of her own. Yeah, thank you, Ak-chan. That's no problem. I take care of your sketchbook even if it costs me my life. I wouldn't be making those promises, Ak-chan. Well, I appreciate the thought, but you don't need to do that. It wouldn't be a fair exchange. Yeah. could fool me about all the other times I had my life sacrificed because of you. Good thing none of the characters remember any of it, so. Now she's looking at me like that, gratitude evident in her eyes. Starting to feel just a little bit cool. I don't get to feel cool very often, so it's a pleasant change from the norm. Maybe I look like a handsome prince. One can only dream. In that case, I'll try to ham it up a little. Oh god, no. No, don't. You're only just gonna ruin it. Ak-chan, no. No. There's no need for honesty, my fair lady. Oh my god. Now he's just gonna embarrass himself. Drawings are worth more than the very earth I walk on. Be an honor to put my life on the line for you. Oh no. Silence. Why is everybody gone so quiet? Did I just ruin my own cool moment? Yep, you did, Akchan. That you did. It's fine. You don't need to do that. Still looking at me with sympathy in her eyes. It kinda stings. My art isn't good enough anyway. I think it's good though. Maybe, but it isn't as good as that convenience store Jello. It's always about the Jello with you, isn't it? Well, that Jello really is very good. I think that might be worth more than your life. Huh? You're saying my life is only worth as much as a pot of 100 yen Jello? What do you mean, only? That Jello is incredibly delicious, you know. Like mana sent from heaven. There's no sweeter nectar in the whole wide world. Well, when you put it like that, equating the value of my life to a single pot of jelly may seem rather cruel. I think Noel was actually doing me a service there. Know how much he loves that jello. So I guess Noah's priorities go to something like jello, me, drawing. Okay, the second on the list isn't too bad. Moo, however, looks thoroughly unenlightened by our conversation. She stands there on one hand on her hip, pouting. Akchan, reacting all wrong. All wrong? What do you mean? I wasn't aware I was being assessed on this. You're looking at two cute girls in bikinis, you moron. It should be more like, wow, oh my god, so cute, I want to take you home, and bleeding from the nose, you know. So, you want me to act like a pervert? Exactly. But why? It'd just be awkward, and, you know, I'd probably get punched in the face for doing it. Moo rolls her eyes. But it's standard etiquette. I don't know about that. I don't understand either. What interjects into our debate, a voice soft and shy. Now this is a surprise. Doesn't often challenge people other than me, even though that is only rarely when the mood strikes her. Moo frowns. Looks just as shocked as I feel. What do you mean? You don't want to be complimented? Why are you trying to be one of those girls who says, I don't like it when you do that, but really they do like it when they can't be honest with themselves? Noel blinks. I am afraid I don't understand that last part. It was too convoluted for me. That's fine, don't worry about it. It's a advanced level character study that can't be appreciated by mere beginners. Character study? Yeah, the types of girls who are super popular nowadays, you know, the ones who say one thing and mean another, kind of like Riri. Well, I don't know about that. I wasn't trying to be contrary. I just, well, begins to fiddle with the bow attached to the skirt of her swimsuit. I like being complimented on how I look, but it feels strange. I simply happen to be born this way. It's not through any particular effort that I look like this. In fact, my mother and father are the ones who should be congratulated for that, as they were the ones who made me. I would prefer to be complimented for something I did myself, something I worked hard on, like my drawings, even though I do not think they are very good. What a pure girl. You're making me look bad by comparison. I'm sorry. There's no need to apologize. It just makes you look even cuter. Cute? Moo giggles, giving the free-stranded Noah's hair a small tug. Better watch out or I might fall for you myself. Well, I would be flattered, I think. You only think? You don't know? no, it really would be an honor. I respect you a lot. Ooh, I'm not used to being respected. Kind of has a nice feel to it. All of a sudden, the aura between these two started to look strangely sparkly. These two get along well. So, in surprise, can't help myself. I was expecting Paya to speak, given she has been silent for so long. Thought she'd fallen asleep again. Maybe she did for a few minutes. Yeah, it looks like they are. That's when people get along, isn't it? Yeah. On my head, a small smile on my face. I watch me fussing over Noelle. It really is. It really is. I'm still pissed off though. And of course Amu has to ruin the sentimentality of the moment with a typical Amu-esque phrase. You're mad? Yeah. A seething. Expecting you to pay me at least some kind of compliment, Ak-chan. Amu pounced, turning this way and that so she can examine her body better. There's something wrong with my swimsuit? Does it look bad? No, it doesn't look bad. It's fine, really. But your reaction, so lackluster. It was absolutely no Badan, you know. I don't even know what Badan is. You'd know it if you could see it, but I guess I don't have it. I tried so hard too. With shivers wrapping her arms around her middle. I can feel it. Cold, unforgiving chill of winter is creeping through her bones. But it isn't winter anymore. It's the middle of spring. I mean a Sabonic winter. Never-ending winter. Inside my heart. I have some medicine in my pocket if you want it. What need do I have for medicine? Can it cure a broken heart? I'm not sure. Her draws a pack of tablets out from her pocket, stares down at it intently, well, as intently as she can manage with her single visible eye. I don't think it cures broken hearts. It might be good if you're feeling nauseous. No, you don't understand. I'm not sick. I was just a figure of speech. Oh, it was just a figure of speech. A figure of speech? He sighs, her shoulders slumping in resignation. You know what? It's not worth it. Don't worry. Okay. I'm good at not worrying. It's my special talent. All of a sudden I feel jealous. People like that, who drift through life without overthinking things too much, really exist? That's amazing. I mean, Noelle and Paya are definitely gonna get along well. Both a couple of airheads that suit each other well. Wish I could do it too. Anyway, to the beach. Don't think she's dead, do you? I'm not sure. Nope, she's just asleep again. It didn't take her long. Look down at Papaya's comatose body, sprawled out on the beach like a corpse in a crime scene. She's moving about as much as a corpse would, too. That is to say, not at all. Maybe you should poke her with a stick again? Huh? I thought you were against all the stick poking, Ak-chan. Did you say you were going to keep it to purely pacifist methods? Maybe I did at first, but desperate times call for desperate measures. Even though you told me quite clearly poking an adult woman in the side with a pointed stick was rude and disrespectful. Maybe I said that at the time, but the situation's changed. She's been like this for 20 minutes. It is most troubling. Not even Operation Algae worked. And I was very confident about that. Operation Algae being a plan devised by Noelle, which involved fishing up some of the slimiest, most unpleasant smelling strands of seaweed from the shore and dropping it on Paya's stomach. And unfortunately, it didn't do a single thing. Man, she's a deep fucking sleeper then. Poking her with a stick didn't work, shaking her didn't work, shouting in her ear didn't work, Operation Algae didn't work, building a sandcastle on top of her didn't work. By this point, we're exhausted most of our options. What can we do now? It's in this desperation Moo picks up her previously discarded stick, reverting back to our original plan. Right, let's try this again. Moo reaches forward, a stick in the hand, and gives Papaya a quick poke in the side. No reaction. And again, and again. Still no reaction. Not even a murmur. Too bad we don't have can't pitch like a feather from one of the seagulls roaming around and just kind of tickle our nose. Maybe that could work. Yeah, Papaya doesn't stir. Instead, she continues to lie there, body exposed to the sunlight, eyelid rather, given I can only see one of them tightly, stubbornly shut. Moo frowns. Okay, I didn't want to bring this up since it'll only make you panic, but Pip really is dead. What do you think we should do? No way. Can't really be dead, can she? Not Pia, sweet, gentle Pia. It's true, I've only known her for a couple of days, but thought of her being dead is still upsetting. But maybe I should have known. There were warning signs. Really isn't normal for somebody to be that perpetually sleepy, unless they have some kind of medical condition. Besides, she was carrying those pills around with her. Maybe she had some kind of heart problem? An incurable disease? What if she's been spending the last few years in and out of hospital? Trying to decide what rooms, her only source of comfort the view of the cherry blossoms falling outside of her window. Perhaps the doctors only let her come back home because her disease is in its final stages. It's incurable, and she's never going to get better. Could it be? Did Suzumi tell Papaya to go on this trip, so she'd be able to make some fond memories before her inevitable death? Was this an act of compassion on Suzumi's part? Suzumi, maybe you really were a kind, thoughtful person after all. I'm sorry I doubted you so much. It does seem kind of strange Suzumi would neglect to go on this trip herself. Didn't she want to share Paya's final moments? Maybe she felt the ordeal would be far too depressing. Moo, she isn't really dead, is she? I just don't know. I don't want her to be dead, but she's been like this for 20 minutes now. That isn't normal, is it? Pei isn't really a normal person. Well, obviously. She's friends with Suzumi. No regular human being could put up with that witch. But, sigh. I suppose even though it seems sudden, things can happen. Maybe she really was sick after all. But if that's true, then why didn't we try to help her? We hardly knew her. She was sick, how were we supposed to know? It's sad, but it isn't our fault. You shouldn't blame yourself. But what should we do? What can we do? How can we move on? I don't know. I suppose there's no real way to recover from the loss of a loved one. All we need to do is keep on going forwards. You think we should call an ambulance? Maybe we can still save her. No, she shakes her head sadly. Afraid it may already be too late. No, Paya. Why must the good always die so young? So, does anybody know when we're going to start eating body? God damn it, none. Well, now's not the time to go straight into cannibalism. Not yet, anyway. No, well? What? What? She's gonna stand there looking innocent after saying something like that? In survival horror stories, isn't it natural to eat the corpse? I always want to try it. Of course you would want to try it. Of course you would. Hey, isn't that going a little too far? You need to have some respect for the dead. What do you mean? Well, blinks. Yeah, as always. Aren't we playing the game? Since when is the death of an innocent woman a game? Well, I just assumed we were play acting. After all, I thought I paused a few minutes ago. God damn it. God damn it, Noelle, you could have told us that earlier. She's definitely alive. Look. Huh? Slowly, Moon and I turn our heads to stare at Exhibit A, Leia's limp, lifeless body. It doesn't take long for me to confirm the truth behind Noelle's diagnostic. Though it's only slight, so slight that one could be forgiven for not noticing at a cursory glance, her chest is indeed rising and falling. She's breathing, action typically reserved for the living, rather than the recently dead. Thank goodness. Noelle, you're a lifesaver. Thank you, but I am no necromancer. She was never really dead to begin with. As if we were still in any doubt about her life or death status, Paya chooses this moment to exhale softly in her sleep, rolling over to on her side. Meat. I want to eat meat. Well, we were about to eat some meat, if it wasn't for the fact that you're still alive. At least that's one disaster averted. Man, I wish I could sleep that deeply. Hey, Noelle, are you busy? I'm building a sandcastle. Oh, it looks impressive. In fact, sandcastle might be downplaying it a little. Sand palace seems more fitting, given the vast scale of Noelle's construction. The sand palace isn't some crude little knob sticking out of the sand, built with a bucket and spade. Instead, it's a real work of art, almost like an illustration straight from a fairy story. Sand palace is complete with turrets and it's tapping away into small points. Stands high on a rocky sandy crags surrounded by a moat. Noelle has even decorated the sides of her palace with garlands of seaweed, snaking it around its walls like ivy. How long did it take you to make that? A while, I suppose. Paya helped a little. She did? Look over my shoulder at Paya, frowning. I'm on the beach again in the same spot she was in half an hour ago. Judging by the looks of it, she is fast asleep. She helped with the seaweed and making a turret. It was too hard to do it on my own. I don't usually like having people help me with my artwork, but she was very easy to work with, and good with her hands too. That's what she said. Quite literally. Now that really is surprising. World is a mysterious place. Elle tilts her head to one side, surveying her palace from another angle, while wind catches on it in her hair as she does so, making her pigtails flutter. So, have finished your sandcastle? I suppose. No sighs. People keep staring at me. It made it hard to concentrate. Maybe they're staring because they were impressed. It is a flattering thought, but it puts me under pressure. Made my hands shake too much to add the final details. Noelle ducks her head, brushing a strand of hair out of her eyes. Anyway, did you want something? Well, Amu told me to come and get you. Said she was getting a little bored of swimming. You know, she was the one who wanted to come to the beach so badly in the first place. She is so fickle. Now she wants to do something else. Something? What kind of something? Well, she said, frown, running one hand through my hair. Why do I have to be the errand boy anyway? Miz taller than me with longer legs, so she'd be able to make it to Noelle far quicker than I could. And besides, though Moo sounded so enthused about her latest plan, I'm not too sure myself. Sounds kind of scary. I mean, anything involving Moo's plans must be desired, I guess. Why is it falling on me to invite Noelle to do something I don't even want to do? Why am I going along with it anyway? Sammy was right. I really am spineless. Just like a jellyfish. Said she wanted to go exploring. Found a few caves while we were swimming and she wanted to have a look inside. Of course. I tried to keep my stutters under control, but that's no good. I still escaped despite my efforts. Even as I extend this invitation to Noelle, I pray that she will say no. I stare at her intently, perhaps a little disconcertingly. Repeat a single phrase over and over again inside my head, as though trying to imprint it in the brain. Please say no. Please say no. Please say no. If you want, you can suggest something to do instead. Anything? Anything at all. I'm open to all suggestions. That's very thoughtful of you, Ak-chan, but you're smiling. I don't like the look of that smile. Oh no. I guess I should start preparing myself for the worst after all. I think Amir's idea sounds like fun. I'd love to go exploring with you. Well, guess this is gonna be this is gonna be somebody's murder cave. Do you think we should have woken Paya up first? For what reason? So she knows where we are? She might get worried if she wakes up and we're not there. I'm sure she'll live. Knowing her, she'll just fall back asleep again anyways. That's probably true, but... Not my hands together at my front, looking around my surroundings dubiously. The cave really is dark. Of course it's dark, silly. It's a cave. Not known for the extensive indoor lighting, are they? Okay, there's no need for the sarcasm. That isn't the only problem, anyway. What, the very warped and creepy music playing? Yeah, I noticed it too. Cave's not only dark, it's dank and musty too. A steady drip, drip, drip can be heard, resounding throughout these rocky walls. The uneven floor is dotted here and there with puddles of stagnant water. Once any time I accidentally place my foot in one. Shoes I'm wearing are made of canvas, not well suited for this kind of terrain. The soles of my shoes are completely soaked through already. Can't we turn back now? It's getting even darker and it's hard to see anything. Well, we come so far, we can't back down now. But if we stray too far away from the entrance, there won't be any light at all. We won't be able to see a thing. It's fine, it's fine. There will always be a light to guide you in the darkness if you believe in the power of friendship. Oh, how impressive. It's not impressive. Just stolen some lines from a cheesy superhero story. Nobody other than a grade school student would be tricked by such shameless lies. How cynical. Are you saying you do believe in the power of friendship, Ak-chan? Well, I do believe in friendship, but also believe it doesn't have all that many practical uses. How sad. Have you lost the innocence of youth already? Youth is a precious commodity. You shouldn't squander it. I haven't lost my innocence, I'm just trying to use some common sense. Well, if you don't want to go in any further, you can always turn around and leave. You get choices here. Fine, I give in. Let's keep on going. Well, he was sigh. Really on this, I guess I had no choice. Isn't that what friendship is all about? I don't really like your idea of friendship, Amu. We already navigated so far from the entrance that it's hard to see even a few feet in front of my face. Wish I had taken care to eat more carrots in my lifetime. Maybe then I'd be able to see if we're about to walk headlong into a bottomless pit. I know I'm going to regret this decision sooner or later. Feel it in my bones. Walk with shuffling, shambling steps, keeping the palm of my right hand pressed firmly against the wall of the cave. Keep myself orientated. Cave wall is rough. It's one I expect of rock, and cold is slowly sapping my hand of any warmth it once possessed. Fingers feel so frozen. Hardly bend them in worry. If I were to try, they'd shatter like glass. Hope Amu gets bored of this soon. What are you hoping to find in here, anyway? I don't know. A dead body, maybe? Well, I'm sure that dead body's soon to become ours if we stay in here any longer. Hey, haven't we had enough of dead bodies today? You might be right. Then maybe a ghost? Not the same thing. No, they're completely different. How? Dead bodies are just dead bodies. They lie there and don't do very much. But ghosts are really cool. They can pass through walls and use strange powers and make spooky noises. Does you think that sounds exciting? Sounds frightening. Why are so many of the women I know so ghoulish? There's Noelle with extensive knowledge on urban legends, Moo with the apparent love for horror stories, Sky too, and those cutting dead things open in biology. Do I just attract people with the macabre tastes? Is it because I'm all short and tiny, so people take sadistic pleasure in scaring me? Probably both. Now there's a depressing thought. Do you really think we'll find a ghost? I don't know. I'm interested though. And what would you say to a ghost if you met one? I don't really know. I haven't given it much thought. But you're serious in your desire to meet one? I suppose so. Sounds like it'd be fun. It would make you happy? Of course. It'd be super exciting. And it'd make our chunk stream, so that's always a bonus. Hey, no, I'm standing right here, you know. Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't see you in the dark. And you're so little too. Watch out or I might step on you. How mean. Maybe I was right. Maybe Amu does only hang out with me because she likes bullying me. Hopefully, Noelle doesn't kill one of us to make us become a ghost. I really hope not, but... Three of us continue to walk together, though I know even Amu's pace has slowed down now. Cave was getting narrower and narrower, something I can tell through touch rather than sight. When I first entered this cave, the distance between the two walls was so wide I couldn't reach it when I spread my arms out. Now, however, I can't extend both of my arms to their full length. Fingers brush against the walls on both sides, constricting my movement. Almost feels as though these rocky walls are trying to clamp down on me, shooing me in like the jaws of a ravenous monster. That's a scary thought. Hope we don't really run into any ghosts or monsters. And as if on cue, Ooh. Low eerie moan suddenly echoes around the enclosed walls of the cave. Cruise through the air like fog, sending shivers down my spine. Did you two hear that? Yeah. Though she's trying not to stifle it, I can hear. There's a faint tremor in Amu's voice. She doesn't sound nearly as confident anymore. I'm sure it's nothing. Just some wind. This kind of thing happens all the time, right? And again, as though trying to spite Amu's half-hearted attempts to rationalize. Ghost question mark. Ooh. It sounds louder this time, closer. It's unmistakably the voice of a young woman, but it doesn't sound right. Amplified so many times by the cave walls, it sounds indistinct, ethereal, otherworldly. It's as though a vengeful spirit is trying to force its way through the veil that separates our world and the next, groping in the darkness with long, slender fingers. Amu? A whimper, reaching forward to clutch the back of Amu's sweater in one hand. Of course, I forgot one crucial detail. Amu isn't wearing a sweater. She's in that two-piece swimsuit she brought earlier. Fingers graze against her bare back, making her jump in alarm. Yeah, even though I brush her bare skin for only a few moments, it's enough. I can tell she's trembling. At least I'm not the only one, but this isn't exactly comforting either. Akchan, it's only you. Thank goodness. Who else did you think it would be? I don't know. Maybe the ghost? I thought you wanted to meet a ghost. Well, yeah. It does sound quite cool when you say it out loud, but such things have no place in reality. Only fun to watch in movies. Ooh. This embodied voice sounds louder this time. Closer. More desperate. Amu? Akchan? Two of us cling together for comfort, bumping together awkwardly like two billboard balls in the dark. Top of my head collides with Amu's chin, teeth biting down on my tongue. Ow. That hurt. Is this really it? Is this the end of the road? Are we all gonna die here in this cave? Potentially. Depends if someone decides that they've had enough ghosting around and decides to go on a murderous rampage. Our bodies be found during a search 2 weeks later, rotting in the darkness, screens fixed permanently on our blank, lifeless faces. That really is too horrible. Never even wanted to come in this cave in the first place. It isn't fair. I'm sorry, Miss Ghost. I'm really sorry. That's right. It wasn't my idea to come in here anyways. It was Amu's. Hey, Akchan. Don't run me out to the ghost. It's about time that I threw you under the bus this time, instead of the other way around. But it is your fault. How heartless. What would you do if the ghost killed me, huh? What if it gouges my eyes out and I bleed to death? Well, in a different reality, you definitely got your eyes gouged out, so you're kind of half right. And if the ghost doesn't know well, you know, kind of 2 for 2. How would that make you feel? Sad for you, but happy to be alive? You're so cruel. Did you even try to save me? I'd rather try to save myself. Unforgivable. As an enforcer of love and justice, I can't let such a thing stand. Amu, chop! Oh, gut, ow. Now is not the time, Amu. Can you say that for the ghost? Ow. I wince biting down my tongue again. As though my head has been plowed into by a tractor. I wonder. Between being torn apart by the magical enforcer of love and justice, or being hexed by a vengeful spirit intent on dragging me into my early grave, which would be worse? I might soon be about to find out. All of a sudden, my eyes feel incredibly wet. I'm not crying, am I? There's a copper taste in my mouth too. My tongue stings. I want to put a spinning red froth into the ground. Sorry for disturbing your slumber, Miss Ghost. Really. I never intended to cause any harm. I would just take my stupid friend and be on my way. No. It's already far too late. You have already disturbed my slumber. Now you must face the consequences. Voice is even loud now, Close I can feel the cold breath of the unseen spectre against my back of my neck. Wait a minute. Breath? Since when could ghosts have breath? I don't have much time to ponder this quandary because... unseen pair of hands suddenly descends upon me. Can I just go for one moment without getting poked and whatnot? And begin to tickle me. Well, I mean, tickling isn't too bad, as long as they're not going to give me more bruises. On the beach, luxuriating under the warm, bloody yellow sun. Wonder if I lie here for too long, or long enough, that the icy cold infused into my bones from our miserable sojourn inside the cave will fade away. Tongue still hurts. Hope I didn't bite on it too hard. At least the bleeding stopped, which is something, but the pain hasn't gone yet. Oh my god. Thought I was gonna die. That was the general idea. Oh well. Blink up at her, shielding my eyes from the sun. She's standing above me, a small smile on her face. It's not the kind of smile you'd expect from somebody who'd just spent the last 10 minutes traumatizing their best friend. Instead, it's the smile on an angel, pure and peerless. Oh well, I had no idea it could be so mean. Me either. Us on the other hand, trust me, this is just... Well, this, Noelle is very nice and lovely character. Yeah, we've seen her much meaner side when we, lied to her. She definitely doesn't like us being a liar. Or being alive for that matter either. Anyway, me either. You always seemed like such a sweet girl. Sprawled out to my right, similarly sapped out for her strength is a moo. Skin looks greyer than usual, and her hair is as limp and disheveled as seaweed. Well, you didn't say you wanted to meet a ghost. I was just giving you what you wanted. But what I said I wanted wasn't really what I wanted at all. I was just joking around. Oh? Frown. So, were you trying to be like one of those high-level characters? High-level? Yes. What you talked about earlier. The characters who say one thing but mean another? Did you want to be popular like that? Not exactly, no. She was just trying to show off, as usual. Hey. Moo gives me an unusually soft punch to the shoulder. You shouldn't always listen to Moo, Noelle. She likes to tell lots of jokes. But her joke didn't make me laugh. Most of the jokes aren't very funny. Tease, act like I'm the bad guy, why don't you? It wasn't the one who was trying to creep us all out, doing weird voices like that. I had no idea it was even possible for humans to even make those sounds. It is possible if you practice. You practice making those creepy noises. Sometimes, when I get bored, it can be entertaining. Really are strange, aren't you? Now, for the first time, Noelle starts to look uncomfortable. She shifts to looking down at her feet, digs out the tip of her sneakers into the sand. You think I'm strange? Really? Of course I do. What kind of person would play a joke like that? I was just trying to have fun. I didn't mean any harm by it. Moo pauses. Only she is a sigh. I know, I'm not mad. Really? Yeah, I mean, guess it was kind of impressive. Maybe felt like my heart was gonna leap out of my mouth. Thought I was really gonna die. Noelle giggles softly. Not entirely sure why, but she looks pleased with Moo's assessment. I am glad. That was the desired effect. Even though she has been my friend for so long, I don't know if I'll ever fully understand Noelle. Are you ready to go then? That's right. I think I've had enough excitement for one day. And I got some sketches done too. That's good. Suzu will be happy. I hope so. I'm not entirely confident in my ability to draw people, but I tried my best. Hey, I helped you pick out the cutest of girls that went by, didn't I? With my discerning eye to lead the way, you can't go wrong. Nora flushes slightly, cheeks turning light pink. Thank you. Jeez. Despite the ghost in the cave moment, these two have been getting along incredibly, almost unnaturally well. Even though it's childish, I've been feeling a little left out. Not getting jealous, am I? Hey, you two. Did I do anything to help? Huh? But of course you did, Akchan. Yes. Help was indispensable. Really? Well, not really. You're not really good at telling white lies, are you, Noelle? Should have known. The whole day's been about one thing and one thing only. Grinding my pride and self-respect down into the dirt. Or sand, maybe. I was a fool to expect anything else, wasn't I? But I enjoyed spending time with you all the same. Huh? I let my head out of my hands to look at Noelle, eyes wide. She's smiling at me softly, gently, head tipped to one side, silver hair cascading over her shoulders in waves. I really am glad we came here, that you were here with me. I had a lot of fun. Noelle? Yeah, I had a lot of fun too. Ow. Even if we didn't get to split any watermelons. No, but you've been doing a decent job of spoiling my back. Sorry, Akchan. I guess I don't know my own strength sometimes. At least I got to buy a super cute bikini, go swimming, and explore a cave. It was all worthwhile in the end. Yes, about those swimsuits. Are you gonna pay me back soon? Are you? Well, I guess Paya was the one to pay for the stuff this time. At least it wasn't us. About that. We smiled sheepishly, pressing her two index fingers together. Kinda broke at the moment, what with my guitar lessons and all that new shoujo manga that keeps coming out. Oh, you read it too? Yeah, it's cute, isn't it? I like cute things. They're relaxing. Exactly. Once you start collecting a series, you need to buy all of it, right? Otherwise there are gaps in the bookshelf. And it bothers me. I know, but with all the new releases, been kind of hard on my wallet. Mine too. I understand your dilemma. And so, I'm sure Akchan here won't mind paying for our swimsuits, will you? Damn it, I should have kept my mouth fucking shut about this. Just when I was saying that, at least we didn't have to buy anything, right? Damn it. Me and my big fucking mouth. Oh my, how chivalrous. I'm impressed. Huh? Wait a minute. Why should I have to pay for them? Because I have no money? Weren't you listening? And I don't have much money either. Hey, if it's Noelle, I can understand since her mother is kinda strict, but you have a job, Amu. You have way more money than I do. My job doesn't pay me as much as you seem to think it does, Akchan. And besides, I may have had money, but that is now a thing of the distant past. Meaning, I spent it all, of course. Why does she sound so proud about it? How can you spend all your money on manga? I don't know. It's crazy, isn't it? One moment I was rich and the next day I was poor again. But it really is mysterious. These things happen. No. Money is not mysterious. Moo's just bad at taking care of it. Doesn't that make me seem kind of like a cute, clumsy girl, though? Did you think it's a charm point? Not when you keep making me foot the bill. That isn't charming at all. He does have a point. The low mechanical sound of the car as it drives down the highway is strangely relaxing, almost like a lullaby. I rest my head against the window, eyes closed, succumbing to the repetitive noises. Really did have a busy day. Limbs feel heavy, arms and legs immobile like two dead weights. Face feels kind of hot, cheeks stinging. Did I get sunburned? You probably should have taken some time to apply sunscreen before you ventured out onto the beach. Moo was far too impatient for that. Didn't really want to breach the subject matter to her either. Knowing the Moo, she'd take the word sunscreen and instantly start inventing all kinds of devious scenarios about it, like... Huh? Are you really that desperate to apply sunscreen to my bare body, Akchan? What a pervert. My sweet maidenly innocence is in danger. I should just thinking about it. That sounds exactly like something a Moo would say. I guess sunburn is a small price to pay for protecting my dignity. Not that I have all that much of it. Soft and gentle sigh, coupled with a light pressure on my shoulder, draws me from my musings. Guess I'm not the only one worn out by the trip. Noel has fallen fast asleep, resting her head against my side. Eyes are closed, lips parted in a small O. I can smell the scent of her shampoo drifting out from the crown of her head. A light strawberry aroma fused with the salty tang of the sea breeze. Muchu has fallen into a deep slumber befitting of a fairy tale princess. Though I can't see her so well, given she's sitting at the front, imagine she's drooling, hair a mess of bright pink spikes. Just hope Paya isn't about to succumb to sleepiness too. If she falls asleep, we'll all die. I mean, I would have thought that she had gotten enough sleep at the beach, because she was asleep pretty much the entire time, so... Yeah, we'll definitely die. Maybe I should try to talk to her, just to ensure she remains awake. But I don't really know her that well. I don't feel rude suddenly starting a conversation now. Besides, trying to engage her in conversation might just distract her from the road, which would make matters even worse. Eventually, I decide to leave it. That might actually be safer. And so, with a small yawn, close my eyes, resting my head against Noel's. Even though I get travel sick quite a lot, right now the motions of the car as it moves along the road are strangely soothing, rocking it back and forth as though my baby in my mother's arms. I guess Paya really is good at driving.